Now funding on Kickstarter a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja. And there it is, directly from the horse's mouth. An ex-PlayStation executive is saying digital games won't be any cheaper when PlayStation gets rid of discs. And we already knew this was going to happen. I know a lot of people were trying to defend the decision. They were like, well, they're just looking at what the gamers are buying, and they're buying the digital and not the physical. And that might be true to a certain extent. But again, as I've been saying the entire time, if you don't have to manufacture and ship physical goods, then that means everything else is more or less profit, right? And you don't have to share with the retailers. That's more profit for you. That's why all these companies want to go digital. And if they could get away with not giving you anything and just taking the money, they would do that. See also, all the re-releases and reissues and HD remasters and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot less development time, a lot less cost, and you suckers will line up to buy the same game again and again and again and again. That's what this is all about. So we're going to talk about this interview with Insider Gaming. But this guy said the games industry would prefer to maximize revenue however possible. Yes, you're just a pay pig. Shocker. That's how capitalism works. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV videos and podcasts you will not find anywhere else. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of Clownfish TV, go out to iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Look for Clownfish TV podcasts, and we are there, guys. Thank you so much for the support. I just want to show you this video clip real quick. This is coming from Pirate Nation. There is a PC gamer who found a way to make Steam games feel like physical cartridges. He basically put them on 2.5-inch solid-state drives, and you just plug and play, and it boots up Steam and boots your game. And man, this is what we need. And apparently Xbox is going to be giving people the ability to burn their games to disk or something. But I'm loving this. I want to see a game console like this where the complete game is on the disc, on the cartridge, and you just plug it in, turn it on, and it works. Remember those days? You just plug it in, turn it on, and it works. Freaking Halo, the PS5 version of Halo, you can't even play the game without an internet connection, without a PlayStation account. It has to download a massive update or something. There's only 38 gig on the 100 gig disc, and the rest of the game is online. This is bullshit. Yeah, this whole business model is bullshit. And I really do hope it hits these companies in the wallet, that people really do want to feel like they own their games. I don't think people would have as much of a problem with digital if they knew that they would for sure have those games forever, that they wouldn't nerf the games, edit the games, cancel the games, take them offline, whatever. As it stands right now, you're just renting your games. And that's what people are having a huge problem with. At least with Steam and GOG, for the most part, you have those games forever, at least as long as they're in business, right? So this has come from Insider Gaming. Actually, let's go out to the Deserto version of it. They did they cut out the parts that are relevant to digital pricing. All right, ex-PlayStation boss explains why digital games won't be cheaper when discs end. Former PlayStation executive Gordon Thornton has explained why digital games aren't cheaper than physical copies, even though you don't get a box or a disc anymore. For years, going into a game store and picking up a physical copy of a new game was a rite of passage for gamers. Over time, physical copies have started to slow down, with Rockstar Games announcing there won't actually be a disc for GTA 6. We're almost there. We're almost there, guys, because like I said, the Halo for PlayStation, yeah, it's not even, the game's not even all there, right? Nintendo, they're giving you cartridges, and it's only half the game. Instead, physical copies will come with a digital code for you to download. That has caused plenty of furor from fans who want a physical disc for their collection. Sony has announced that from January 2026, they will cease production of physical discs. All right, digital games won't be cheaper than discs anytime soon. Speaking to Insider Gaming, Sony's former SVP on PlayStation's global direct-to-consumer business, Gordon Thornton, explained why digital copies are still the same price as physical discs, even though you don't get anything to keep. Publishers have never desired to run channel-centric pricing. In the US, pricing is harmonized, and this helps set the global pricing via foreign exchange and market pricing. He noted that the gaming industry would prefer to maximize revenue however possible, and that extra revenue can then be used to help cover the increasing cost of game development instead, allowing the price of a game to remain fixed regardless of whether it's physical or digital. Well, here's an idea, Gordon. Don't spend $200 to $300 million on games that nobody wants. I'm just saying. I mean, that would help, right? Because part of the reason we're in the situation we're in with the gaming industry right now, and it does feel like we're in the middle of a crash or a downturn or something, this is definitely not going to help. But the games have been ass. The AAA games have been ass. It's just like Hollywood. They've spent too much money on too many flops. Meanwhile, these indie studios are churning out games that are doing incredibly well, right? And we've seen this in Hollywood too. It's the same thing. We've got indie creators or YouTubers making movies on the cheap, and these movies are making millions and millions of dollars. And it's profit. It's almost pure profit. In the case of Obsession, I think Obsession was less than $1 million. It's almost pure profit. And that's what they want. So if you're going to make these games profitable, honestly, you're better off, in my opinion, and you want to make the gamers happy too, going back about 15 years, right? Saying this is a good enough level of technology for most games. We're going to kind of lock it here. We're going to put out a physical disc, and we're only going to spend at the most $10, $20 million on game development on a game at the most. I mean, I'm trying to remember back in the 90s, I think if I recall, I'm not going to Google it because I'm lazy. But I think Final Fantasy VII was like $40 million or something like that. And that was an ungodly amount of money to spend on a game in the 90s because of all the full motion video. And they had to go buy all the workstations to start doing all the CGI and all that. And that might have been what prompted them to come out with so many games for the PlayStation 1, is they had to, get as much money out of that equipment as they could. So every game was stuffed with, full motion video just because they could. But, I digress. Anyway, spend less on games, make better games, actual games, not interactive movies. I'm looking at you, Neil Druckmann. You don't need to spend $200 to $300 million on a game. Part of the reason you're spending $200 to $300 million on a game is massive, massive amounts of bloat. You've got people working at these companies. And look, I don't want people to lose their jobs. I get it, right? And some really good people are losing their jobs. We're seeing what's going on at Microsoft. But you're spending way too much money. And you've got way too many people. And a lot of those people don't even need to be there. They shouldn't be there, right? They didn't pay their dues. Some of them are there just because of, their skin color or their sexual identity or whatever. Some of them are there to be sensitivity readers. You know what I'm saying? Like all this bullshit that we don't actually need. You need about a dozen to 24 people who are qualified making games on a budget and trying to maximize player satisfaction. And then you put the game on a physical disc. You don't ship it until it's ready. Okay. No half-assed, half-baked games. You ship it when it's ready. Codify it, put it on a physical disc or a physical cartridge, ship it to the gamers own it. And guess what? If the game is good, they will come back, they'll buy another one and another one and another one. That's all you got to do. Why is this so damn hard? Anyway, they said on the other side of things, Xbox is reportedly testing a new feature that allows you to convert discs to digital, unlike traditional digital purchases. The specific disc would have an entitlement with the player who registered it, meaning it can only be played by them and not shared around. This is what they're trying to clamp down on too. The sharing of games. because if you're sharing your game, that person you're sharing it with is not buying a copy, but they're assuming everyone is going to buy a copy. Why don't we just lock down library books too while we're at it? You know, it's like, come on, this is kind of crazy. Again, you don't own your game. They want you to buy a license to access their game whenever they feel like letting you access it. And then when they're done with it, when they can't get any more revenue out of it, they'll just pull it down. Doesn't matter how much time you have in it. Doesn't matter how much money you've spent on DLC or in-game currency or whatever. It's just done, man. It's over. And then you have to buy the next version of the game because they said so, because maximum profit, maximum revenue. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. Now funding on Kickstarter, a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja.